Famcast Media, bitch.
Good afternoon, demons and demonesses. This is going to be a little bit of a response slash continuation of the last video that I did. Now, after I posted the video about Otep Shamaya and how Ice Cube and how, you know, both the Democratic and the Republican Party are undeserving of the black vote, well, I got mixed response from that. I had a couple of people unfriend me on my personal. I had a bunch of people telling me, oh, well, you don't care about X group of people and this amount of people, or Kwame, you're just a radical right winger. Then I had other people tell me, oh, Kwame, you're just a radical Marxist. So figured, you know, I would use this opportunity to set things straight. You see, there's this website and it's called ISideWith. I used this back in 2012 when I was deciding who would be the president of the United States was and who to vote for and where I stand on certain issues. So I figure, you know what, it's been a few years, I might as well take the ISideWith challenge again and see where I stand and if I evolved or if I, you know, am the same person that I was back in 2012. So I'm gonna just do this with you guys. Hello. Okay, it's recording audio. Okay, so after monkeying around with my settings, finally got this bloody thing to work after like 1 minute and 30 seconds. Alright, so this is the 2020 political quiz. Answer the following questions to see how your political beliefs match your political parties and candidates. Alright, so I like the way this is starting out. Starting off with science, which is good, because, you know, we want a president that believes in science. So let's see what this says. Should the government require children to be vaccinated for prevent... This shouldn't even be a question. Answer obviously yet. Matter of fact, I'm going to elaborate and look at the other stances as well. Yes, they are essential to protecting children who are too young to be vaccinated. And how important is this to me? Most extremely important. Can't just have people running around with, you know, preventable diseases, and then you have diseases that we thought we eradicated years ago just coming back and, you know, and having, you know, everyone wants to make the argument, especially when it comes to the, well, that's a totally different subject, mask mandate. Everyone wants to say, oh, individual liberty, but my thing is this. You're talking about individual liberty when you're literally trying to spread a virus to people that clearly don't want it. So what about that other person's individual liberty? But that's another thing. Either way, I look at vaccines the same way. If a disease can be prevented, then, you know, we have to listen to what the doctors and the scientists say. The doctors and the scientists are not going to lie to people. Okay. Do you support the use of nuclear energy? Well, yes. You have to understand. Now, this might upset a lot of people, especially some environmentalists, but you have to understand a lot of the nuclear power plants that are in service right now are old. I mean, extremely old, years old. Nuclear technology has progressed since then. You know, we've invented, you know, reactors and, you know, technology that doesn't fail, that doesn't melt down. Everyone wants to talk about Chernobyl and what happened in Pripyat, but you have to understand that situation happened because they cut a lot of corners and the regulations weren't being followed. They broke a lot of safety protocols. Matter of fact, I watched a video by a YouTuber named Thunderfoot. Now, he's worked I think, with nuclear technology before, and he explained that it's a lot safer than it was years ago. So, either way, I trust the science on this. Let's see. Should I elaborate more on this or no? I'm just put yes, and I'm just leave it at somewhat. Because, like, I would prefer, you know, renewable energy and green technology, but nuclear is okay, I guess. Anything's better than coal and fossil fuel. Should producers be required to label genetically engineered foods? Yes. Now, my thing on genetically engineered foods, GMOs and stuff like that, GMOs are 100% safe. You know, this whole conspiracy movement, it's I guess you could say it's a left-wing conspiracy theory that GMOs are bad for you, and they use like pseudoscience. In fact, every scientist has came out and said, you know what, GMOs are 100% safe. They don't give you cancer, but the thing with the cancer study is that when it came to those, to the mice that they were using in the lab rats and whatever they were, mice, rats, I don't know, rodents. That specific breed of rodent got cancer whether or not they ate the GMOs or not. So there really was no difference. But I'm gonna put yes, consumers have a right to know what's in their food. I don't believe in banning GMOs because you have to understand when it comes to the word GMO, technically 90% of the foods you're eating are GMOs. Corn, if you ever eaten corn, I'm not talking about the metal band corn. I'm talking about corn on the cob, popcorn, all that other shit. That was genetically modified like hundreds of years ago. Watermelons, the watermelons that you eat now, they looked a lot different hundreds upon hundreds of years ago. It was mostly rind back then. Now it's mostly fruit. So when it comes to GMOs, everything you're eating is fucking GMO. So the whole idea, just because someone does it in a lab, now all of a sudden it's dangerous and it's toxic. Nah, come on. Use your fucking head on this. Let me show some more science questions. Should the government fund space travel? Yeah, why not? That's the last science question. Okay, now on to transportation. Okay, this should be fun. By fun, I mean fucking boring. Should the government increase spending on public transportation? Well, I was just watching a documentary on this earlier this morning while I was drinking my coffee. Yes. How important is this? It's just, rather minor. Oh, that's the only one. Okay. Now on to the fun things. Foreign policy. Should the government increase or decrease military spending? Decrease. We spend too much on the military as it is, especially, when it comes to other countries combined. I mean, let's look at it. The United States is more, I guess you could say we're more of an imperial power. We use our military to police the world. And, I really don't see the time for that. Especially because, our politicians are paid and funded by defense contractors, so there's lots of money issues involved. So there's a financial incentive to our politicians to keep us involved in war and increase military spending. Like I said, it's a total waste of money. I find it weird that we can increase our military spending, but we don't use the money to take care of our veterans. But let's see. I might elaborate on this one. Yeah, decrease. Most important. Should the U.S. accept refugees from Syria? Yes? Let's see. I'll just put yes. Should foreign terrorism suspects be given constitutional rights? Oh, of course. We don't want to be hypocrites in the fucking world, now do we? Yes, give them a fair trial and shut down Guantanamo Bay. This is exactly what Obama promised and didn't deliver on. He fucking lied about it. Guantanamo Bay needs to be shut down because you have to understand the thing about Guantanamo Bay. A lot of people that we put in Guantanamo Bay were completely innocent. They were political prisoners. Why'd you interrupt me? They were political prisoners that were captured by our allies. And they were just sent to Guantanamo Bay and basically falsely accused of being terrorists. And a lot of those people, we tortured, we killed, we did like rectal feeding, which is basically rape. Rape. We shouldn't be doing all this. Yeah, they should be given constitutional rights. If you wouldn't torture an American citizen, then you shouldn't be able to torture, foreign terrorism suspects. And I say terrorism in quotation marks, because like I said, some of these people were completely innocent. Should the military be allowed to use enhanced interrogation? No. I'm not even going to finish reading this fucking thing. No. Let me look at the other stances. No, torture is an ineffective form of interrogation. I wish I could select more answers to this. Like, every no answer is good. It's ineffective, it's inhumane, and it's also against the Geneva Conventions. These are all very good answers. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go with number 2, because I'm not a complete fucking douchebag. And I'm gonna say this is most important. Should every 18-year-old citizen be required to provide at least 1 year of... No. We shouldn't have any selective services in this country. Oh, here it is. Elaborate. No, selective service should be a choice instead of an obligation. And this is most important to me. Should the US remain in the United Nations? I'd say so. Let me look at the other stances, though. I'll just put yes. I mean, I don't really care about that whole thing. Let's see, what else we got? Should the US continue to support Israel? Let me look at the other stances. No, cut all support and aid. You have to understand, Israel is, especially with the whole thing going on with Palestine and how they're putting illegal settlements on Palestinian land, and how the borders keep shrinking smaller and smaller, and then you have the incident that happened in 2016 and 2015 where you had all these civilians being killed by the Israelis, Palestinian civilians, women, children. You had kids that were shot on the beach for playing football. Why are we giving these people? Why are we giving these people money? Surprised we're even allied with Israel anyway. Do you support the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani? Oh, well, this was something that I was really upset about. No, you can't just kill somebody. I mean, Qasem. What most people don't understand about Qasem Soleimani. I mean, people want to say, oh, he was an enemy to the United States or whatnot, but you have to remember and keep this in mind. Qasem Soleimani is one of the reasons why ISIS was defeated. In fact, he was the one pushing back against ISIS. You see, ISIS, their whole ideology is like Wahhabism, Salafism, just extreme right-wing Islam. All right, and then you have Qasem Soleimani, who I believe are the Iranian? I think the Iranians are Shia Muslims. Those are two completely different schools of thought. All right, in Iran, he was basically, if you look at Qasem Soleimani and how he was viewed in Iran, he was viewed as someone that was apolitical. He wasn't seen as someone that was extremely right-leaning. He wasn't seen as someone that was extremely moderate or extremely left-leaning, I should say. And while we killed him, while he was killed, he was on a diplomatic mission. So you're really going to kill someone on a fucking diplomatic mission? And also another thing, that's just going to make tensions in the Middle East worse. So now Iran is just going to try and ally themselves with fucking Russia or China, and that almost could have struck World War III. World War III. And I had people that were yelling at me on Facebook about this whole Qasem Soleimani thing, saying, "Oh, it was good that we killed Qasem Soleimani." I'm like, that's the exact same shit that happened with the whole Iraq war situation. Killing people, getting involved in other countries' shit, killing their leaders and shit. It's all imperialistic bullshit. Tired of this. No, the strike was illegal since it was not approved by the U.S. Congress. Or no, this couldn't. Yeah. I don't want another war in the fucking Middle East. We spent too many years in there. We still haven't pulled out. Obama said he was going to pull people out, and he really didn't do it. And he didn't do a fucking thing. And things didn't really change under Trump either. So, like I said, both the Democratic and Republican Party, they can go kiss my black ass for that shit. What we got here? Do you support President Obama's move to lift the trade and travel embargo on Cuba? Yes. How important is this to you? Yeah, very important. Should I show more foreign policy questions? Why the hell not? Should the U.S. increase or decrease foreign aid spending? Look at the other stances. I'd say increase, but only for countries that have no human rights violation. Should the U.S. remain in NATO? Let me look at the other stances. I don't know where I should stand on this. I might just put... Maybe I should put yes. Focus on more counterterrorism strategies. I don't know. This is something that... I'll just leave that as somewhat... I'm still on the fence about that. Should the military fly drones over foreign countries? No. No, no, no. How important is this to you? Other stances? No, the military has no right to do so without congressional declaration of war. Yeah. And that's most important, because I'm an interventionist. Should Jerusalem be No. I'm not even going to bother finish reading the rest of the question because I already know what they're going to say. Let me just put this as most important. Let's see. Should the United States pull military troops out of Afghanistan? Yes. And we'll look at the other stances too. Well, there aren't any more stances, and that's most important to me. Send our troops home. Should the U.S. defend other NATO countries that maintain low military defense budgets relative to their GDP? You know what? I think I'm going to change my stance on the NATO question. I'm just putting no. There we go. More foreign policy questions. Should the U.S. continue NSA? No. No, 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 no. This was, and this is the thing that really gets me. Everyone was saying that President Obama had no scandals. The NSA scandal was literally one of Obama's biggest scandals, and people want to just brush it up under the rug because they're just a bunch of partisan freaks. Everything Obama does is okay. Obama, the Republicans. No, no, no. Hold the man accountable. Obama isn't the second coming of Christ. And to be honest, the way I see it, people worship Obama the same way that some people worship Trump. And you know what? I'm able to see both their flaws. No, spying on our allies severely damages our reputation abroad. Or should I say no, abolish the NSA? And those are both really good answers. But you know, I don't want to piss off our allies. We've already done that enough. Most important. Should the US sell military weapons to India in order to counter Chinese and Russian influence? No. Don't want us to have another arms race. And we should not sell military weapons to any foreign country. No, we should increase diplomatic efforts. Yeah, I'm more of a diplomacy freak. Should the government cancel production of the Yes. Most important to me. Lots of foreign policy questions. Let me just do some more. Should the U.S. go to war with... No, 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 no. Most important. Tired of people trying to bait us into war with Iran. Iran wants nothing to do with us. Just leave those people alone. Should the government attempt to influence foreign... No. Why is this even a fucking question? Matter of fact, I'm going to elaborate. No, and we should not try to influence any other country's elections. Most important. Should it be illegal to join a boycott of... No! People should be allowed to boycott whatever they fucking want. I boycotted Chick-fil-A. Some people wanted to boycott I also boycotted Netflix. Some people wanted to boycott Starbucks because they didn't like the fact that Starbucks, had a red cup for Christmas. I mean, it's a stupid boycott, but, they have the right to do it. I'm not going to dictate whether someone should or shouldn't boycott something. Most important, because that's more of a free speech issue. Should the U.S. conduct military strikes against North Korea? No. No. Let me look at the other stances. Matter of fact, we use every diplomatic option. Most important. This is one of the good things about Trump's presidency, is that he did encourage diplomatic talks with North Korea. So, can't get mad at Trump for that. Like you said, he's done a few good things and he's done a shit ton of bad things. Just like Obama. Then again, that's with almost both parties. They do a little bit of good things and they do a shit ton of bad things, and then you have the people that are members of those parties will boast about the good things and ignore the bad things. So, should funding for local police departments be redirected to social and community-based programs? Let's look at the other stances. No, we shouldn't abolish the police. Matter of fact, replace the police with unarmed community-based responders and non-violent calls. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. If someone is doing a non-violent crime, does it really make sense to send in like a fucking tanks and shit? Well, I shouldn't say tanks, but armored vehicles and go in guns blazing? No. Seems like too much firepower. Put this as more important to me. Should convicted criminals have the right to vote? You look at the other stances. I'm gonna say yes, except for felons convicted of murder or violent crimes. And this isn't really that important. That one is not really that important to me. Let's see. Do you support mandatory minimum prison? No. 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 No, 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 no. I'm against the prison industrial complex. Should prison ban the use of solitary confinement for juveniles? Oh, yes. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, there's a couple of good answers. Yes, and we should create more social programs. Yes, it's really psychological. Well, that is true. So I'm going to just go with that one. Put this as more important, because we do need criminal justice reform. Should non-violent prisoners be released from jail in order to reduce overcrowding? Yes. There's no reason why anyone should be in jail for smoking a pot. Education. Well, these are also good. No, because they don't. Because non-violent people should be in prisons. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm just going to put community service. It's a lot better anyway. So doing something. Should police officers be required to wear? Yes. It's about body cameras. Matter of fact, I'm going to elaborate. Yes, this will protect the safety and rights of both the police officers and the citizens. There's been, people are going to get mad about the whole body camera thing, saying, oh, it's invasion of privacy, but body cameras actually do help police officers. It's the same thing with the whole, I'm not sure if anyone watches, Predator Poachers or Pop Squad or any of these predator catching channels. The reason why they wear body cameras is so they can't say that they hurt them and the person that they're catching can't say that that the predator poachers hurt them, or the predator catchers, or whoever's hunting down these guys. And it's the same thing with the police officer. You know, the police officer can't say, oh, this guy attacked me, or the suspect can't say, oh, well, the police officer abused me. It protects the rights of the police officer, and it protects the rights of the citizen. And I don't see why anyone would have a problem with this. Not unless, you plan on hurting a police officer, or a police officer plans on abusing his authority and the power of his badge. And we already have enough of that, and that's the reason why we're in the situation that we're in right now. But I'm gonna move on. Should the government hire private companies to run prisons? No. No. Private prisons will sacrifice quality of care and That's a better answer, and this is most important. We shouldn't have any private prisons in the United States. Should drug traffickers receive the death penalty? Why? Seriously, why is this even a question? It's drugs. Let people use as much drugs as they want to fucking use. If you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. If you want to, do fucking molly or ecstasy or whatever that shit is, then do it. But the only thing I'm against is meth. It's not even that, like, I'm against, well, yeah, I am kind of against meth. But I had this conversation with Aria de Mezzo. And one of the things that she mentioned to me is that if you don't have if people don't have access to meth, then they're just going to do things that are a lot worse, which is crocodile. And I saw a documentary on crocodile, and it is extremely gruesome. So, but at the same time, meth is dangerous as well. I mean, not only is it dangerous to use, but dangerous to produce. So let's say the guy down the street from my house is producing meth in his basement. All right, now all the toxic chemicals from that meth seep into the walls and the surrounding environment. So let's say he does eventually get arrested and he goes to jail, or what if he doesn't? Let's say he moves out. The fumes from that meth are still in the building. And once that all gets into the walls and it seeps into, the surrounding environment, the only way to take care of that is to tear down the house and rebuild it again from the start. And I saw, like I said, this was also in a documentary I saw about meth. I know I watch a lot of crime documentaries on my spare time too, so. Let's see. No, I don't believe in the death penalty. Yeah, the death penalty is fucking stupid. Doesn't really solve anything. What, so you give someone the death penalty and that's supposed to make all the problems go away? That's supposed to right the wrongs? No. And also, what if, there's another thing. What if you kill the wrong person? What if you give someone the death penalty and it finds out, and you later find out that person was completely innocent? There's no revive potions. There's no respawns. There's no cheat codes. There's no unlimited continues. When you kill someone, they're fucking dead. You really want to you really want to have that weight on your chest? And then people want to say, oh, well, we compensate the families. Well, it doesn't matter how much money you compensate the families. That money is not going to bring someone dead back to life. Okay. Should the Electoral College be abolished? There's a case for both the popular vote and the Electoral College. The way that I see it, I believe that smaller counties do deserve a voice. And I do believe it's the politicians' job to go into those smaller counties and convince people to vote for them. And, we all know the reason why Hillary won the popular vote. And it's mostly because of New York, California, and New Jersey, which are all solid blue states. And that's where the majority of the population is anyway. So, should it be abolished? I think it should be reformed. I don't know. Matter of fact, what's this? Ranked choice voting? I support ranked choice voting. Yeah. Do ranked choice voting system. That'd be better. Should foreigners currently residing in the United States have the right to vote? Let's see. I kind of want to say yes. And the reason why I'm saying this, because I was watching a news report about this little girl who was adopted from China, and basically she lived her entire life in the United States. And she said the sad thing about living in, and she said one of the sad things about, you know, being adopted is that she'll never have the opportunity to run for president because, you know, she's Chinese and she's not an American-born citizen. So I'm gonna put yes. Only after living in, I'd say 10 years is about good. Should a photo ID be required to vote with other stances? No. And automatically register every citizen to vote when they turn 18. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Should the U.S. have mail-in ballot process for host states in local, state, and federal elections? Well, I kind of like the idea of mail-in voting. I'll put yes, because nobody wants to wait in line, and plus with the whole mail-in voting thing and the whole lines and stuff, that's used as a voter suppression tactic. And it's not just by everyone wants to talk about how Republicans are trying to, you know, do voter suppression. Well, the Democrats are trying to do it too. We saw this in the 2016 primary when they closed so many poller locations in Bernie-leaning districts. And then people were waiting in line for hours upon hours upon hours until the polls closed. And when the polls closed, there were still people waiting in fucking line. So let's just say, fuck you to the Democratic establishment, fuck you to the Republican establishment. Gosh, I can't fucking talk today. And we'll just do all mail-in voting. And that should solve some of it. This is more important. Should the political candidates be required to release their tax? Yes. Look at the other stances. Yes, and require a public audit. So, most important. Should there be a limit to the amount of money a candidate can receive from a donor? Yes. I'm gonna look at the other stances too. Yes, politicians should not be bought by wealthy donors. Most important, we need to get money out of politics. That's one of the reasons why I do not like Biden and Harris. That's the problem with a lot of the Democratic establishment, why I lost faith in the Democratic Party, because everyone is bought and paid for. Should the minimum voting age be lowered? No. Keep it at 18. I'm sorry. Didn't have my coffee this morning. Should a politician who has been formally convicted of a crime be allowed to run for office? Yes, as long as it was not a felony, violent, or sexual crime. Most important. We don't want any of those crazy people in office. We already have enough crazies in office. Should corporations, unions, and non-profit organizations be allowed to donate to political... Let's see. No, but allow donations from unions and non-profits. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Should foreign lobbyists be allowed to raise money for American elections? No. Let's keep that as no. Should there be a 5-year ban on White House and congressional officials from becoming a lobbyist after... Yes. Definitely. Most importantly. Should the president be able to authorize military force against Al-Qaeda without question? No. Look at the others. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back and re-edit these. Yeah, I think I like those answers. Should the U.S. assassinate us? No. We already killed... Look, we already killed a bunch of innocent people with these fucking drone strikes. Alawaki or something. That was another Obama scandal that people tend to sweep under the rug. We killed an American citizen who was completely innocent. He was like a 16-year-old boy who went over in the Middle East. I forgot which country it was. Basically, his father was suspected of being a terrorist, but the thing is, there was no evidence for it. He never got a fair trial or anything. He was killed in a drone strike. The son goes over in the Middle East to go and look for his father because he doesn't know if his father is alive or dead, and he also gets killed in a drone strike. 16-year-old kid, completely innocent. Just wanted to reunite with his father. No, they should be captured and given a fair trial. You can't be hypocrites, guys. Should the U.S. build a wall along the southern border? Let me look at the other standards. Yes, and Mexico should pay for it. That's a Trump answer right there. That's so Donald Trump right there. No, this would be too costly and ineffective. I agree, this is too costly and ineffective because a lot of the people that come across from the border, they just fly over the fucking wall anyway. All you have to do is just get an airline ticket and a visa. You fly over the wall and then you wait for the visa to expire. So what good is the fucking wall? The wall isn't going to do a fucking thing. It's a waste of time and a waste of energy. Matter of fact, I'm going to put no, we should adopt an open border policy. There's a reason why they're coming over here, and it's because the United States likes to fuck everything up in every other country. Should illegal immigrants have access to government-subsidized health care? Let's look at the other stances. Yeah, I'd say grant citizenship. This is most important to me. You have to understand, I come from a background of immigrants. I mean, don't get me wrong, they all came here, legally, and then you had some that were, forced over here through slavery. Yeah. Should local law enforcement be allowed to detain illegal immigrants for minor... Nope. I had this conversation with Aria de Mezzo. Matter of fact, no, only if they are convicted for a violent crime. That seems reasonable. I mean, if you're an undocumented immigrant and you like, I don't know, get a traffic ticket or something like that, I don't think that's worth, getting deported over. That's fucking stupid. Everyone gets traffic tickets. Shit, I literally just got a parking ticket like 2 months ago. What the fuck? Should illegal immigrants be offered in-state tuition rates at public colleges with their residing state? Let's look at the other statutes. Yeah, as long as they pay taxes. I don't see any problem with it. Bloody hell, taxes. That's pretty important. Should sanctuary cities receive federal funding? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, why did I just pick no? What the fuck? Yes. Matter of fact, because I slipped up and picked no by accident. Most important. Yeah, they should receive federal funding. That's all I want. It's just a sanctuary city. I don't see what the problem is. Should children of illegal immigrants be granted legal... Well, yes. I mean, if you're born in the United States, you should get legal citizenship. I don't like these other answers, so I'm going to just put yes. Should Muslim immigrants be banned from entering the country until government improves? No. You can't just discriminate on someone based on religion. No, banning immigrants based on their religion is unconstitutional. Look, I think religion is bullshit, but, you can't discriminate against someone based on religion. The way I see it, it's the same thing that happens, because like I said, I'm a Satanist. And, people discriminate against Satanists all the time. In fact, believe it or not, Satanists and Muslims have, I guess you could say, a strange relationship. There was an incident that happened in Texas a couple of years ago where you had a bunch of, right-wing militia guys lining up outside of a mosque. And they were harassing all of the Muslims that were there. So members of the Satanic temple actually came out with their guns, and they started protecting the Muslims and escorting them to the mosque to protect them from the right-wingers. And there was another incident that had happened, and this is rather kind of funny. You had right-wingers show up to, it was like a black, it was like some sort of like Nation of Islam mosque, or I don't know if it was Nation, it was a black Muslims. And you had these right-wingers show up to the mosque with guns. But the thing is, a lot of the Muslims were members of this organization called the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. So all of the Muslims showed up with guns, and then the Satanic Church, not the Satanic Church, why do I keep saying the Satanic Church? The Satanic Temple showed up with their guns. So then you have these black Muslims with guns, you got the Satanists with guns, and then you got the fucking right-wingers with guns that were outnumbered and outmatched. And so the right-wingers got scared, they just put their guns away and they just left. It was fucking funny. I need to do a video on that, because that was like fucking amazing. Epic solidarity between Satanists and Muslims. Should working illegal immigrants be given Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Well, I should elaborate on that. Yes, create a simple path to citizenship for immigrants with no criminal record. I don't know. I'm not used to talking this much. How long have I been doing this? I don't even know. Should immigrants be required to learn English? Matter of fact, I think Americans should stop being lazy. I find it weird how every other country, people are able to speak multiple different languages, but in the United States, we expect everyone to learn English. Why are we so fucking lazy like that? Let's embrace diversity. You have to understand, the United States doesn't have an official language. English is not the official language of the United States. It's the most spoken language in the United States, but it's not an official language. We don't have an official language. Should the U.S. increase or decrease the amount of temporary work visas given to high-skilled? Increase. I don't see no problem with it. Because our economy relies on hiring highest skilled workers. And let's go forward. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, if as long as the job gets done, then really who gives a fuck? Should immigrants to the United States be allowed to hold dual citizenship status? Yeah, of course. Yes, unless they committed a crime. Act of terrorism is also considered a crime, so yeah, well. Should immigrants be deported if they commit a serious crime? Yes. Yes, and after they finish their visas. More immigration questions. Should the U.S. increase restriction on its current border security policy? No. Implement an open border policy. Should immigrants be required to pass a citizenship test to demonstrate a basic understanding of our country's language, history, and government? I mean, I would say no, because most citizens couldn't even pass this fucking... Isn't that something that's in the answer? I was literally just thinking this, and then it shows up right in the answer sheet. I kind of agree, because I actually had to take the citizenship test. When I was in middle school, it was something my history teacher did. And they just wanted to see who would pass it and who would flunk it. I was the one who passed it. We had people we had people in middle school, and also I took the same test when I was in high school. We had people that didn't even know the 3 branches of government. And I learned that in elementary school. You got legislative, you got judicial, and you got executive. Most people don't even know that. Most people don't even know the name of the national anthem. They don't know the Star-Spangled Banner is the national anthem. And then you have other people who can't even name 50 states. I mean, I was able to, well, you have to understand, I was a nerd when I was a kid, and technically I am still a nerd. I enjoy reading about the presidents, I enjoy reading about the states. So that's probably why I found the citizenship test to be so fucking easy. Like, I'm like, this is a joke, right? But I was surprised to know that half the class didn't even pass the citizenship test, and they were American citizens. In fact, I knew this one kid, or his family was from, like, I think Mexico or something like that. He was able to pass the test with flying colors. And then you have Americans that can't even fucking pass the citizenship test. It's a fucking joke. Yeah, no. Most citizens can't even pass it anyway, so fuck it. I mean, my thing is this, if a citizen can't pass the test, then what should happen to that citizen? What, should we just kick him out of the fucking country? Nah, you don't know anything about the United States. Get out of here. Kick him like fucking, kick him like a fucking field goal, man. Use I can't fucking speak. Should there be a temporary ban on all immigration into the United States? No. We already did this once with the Chinese Exclusion Act, and that was fucking racist as shit. Social issues. What is your stance on abortion? The other stances. Pro-choice and providing birth control, sex education, and more social services will help reduce the number of abortions. That is something I can get behind, and that is most extremely important to me. Especially more now so because the Death Star has cleared the planet. Amy Waffle Coney Barrett is now a member of the Supreme Court. And how long has Ruth Bader Ginsburg been dead? Like, she died on like the 19th. And it's now, I'm recording this video on October 28th, 2020. They confirmed her that fucking fast. And it usually takes at least like 70, maybe 80 days to, to confirm a justice. They really rushed this one through, let me tell you. I think it's mostly because they know it could be a myriad of issues. It could be because they're afraid that Joe Biden might win. Or it could be because, Trump wants to be spiteful, or the Republicans want to be spiteful. Because, when Obama tried to do it, with Merrick Garland, even though Merrick Garland was a terrible choice, I seriously doubt that Merrick Garland would take away a woman's right to choose. Let's see. Yep, pro-choice. Should the government continue to fund Planned Parenthood? Yeah, because they offer a lot of, essential services. Their services reach far beyond abortions and can save many lives. Yep. Should gender identity be added? Of course. Why is this even a fucking question? Yes, and the government should do more to protect minorities from discrimination. That's one of the things that's really important to me is, the protection of people that are, part of the trans community. They get misgendered a lot, both in life and even in death. It's really sad, and it's really unnecessary what these people have with that community has to go through. Another social question. Should a business be able to deny service to a customer and request it? No. Fuck your religious beliefs. I don't give a fuck about your fucking religious beliefs. All customers deserve to be treated equally. And that's extremely important. I remember the whole Sweet Cakes by Melissa thing, and they were crying. I wanted to make a, I can't discriminate against the gay people. I lost my business because I didn't want to have the cake tasting. Their tears, I was just drinking their tears for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It felt so good seeing those two cry. Their tears brought me joy. Should transgender athletes be... Yes. They should be allowed to compete in athletic events. Matter of fact, well, the science already proves it, you know. The science shows... Matter of fact, everyone wants to say, oh, well, they have an unfair advantage, and this, not the other. Well, my thing is this. If you actually look at the science, they actually have a disadvantage. You see, when a transgender person is on hormones, it actually decreases your muscle mass. So, to say that they have an unfair advantage because they were born biologically this and biologically that, well, the science doesn't support it. All right? Matter of fact, look into what hormones do to, you know, a trans person. But matter of fact, I might just link this in the video because one of my friends, she had actually posted about how, because she I think she was a Muay Thai fighter, she was a bodybuilder, and when she had transitioned, her muscle mass actually decreased. So, you know, it's a shame she had to post that because, you know, people can't just take her fucking word for it, so she had to, like, post body shots and all that other stuff. And it's a shame the way we treat the trans community in this country. This is most important to me. Should health insurance providers be required to offer free birth control? Yes. Look at the other stances, too. Social questions. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just load all the social questions. What the fuck? Just keep clicking on it until they all load. Should the federal government introduce a mandatory buyback of assault weapons? No. Just increase the mental health and background check. Should university provide trigger warnings? This is a fucking joke. No, we shouldn't have any fucking trigger warnings or anything like that. You know, you have to understand, college campuses should be a marketplace of ideas where people should be allowed to, you know, debate and have conversations. You can't just say, oh, well, we need a safe... I mean, don't get me wrong. If you want a safe space, then, you know, your safe space... Sorry, I cannot talk today. Bloody hell. Your safe space should be your own private apartment, room, fucking house, recording studio. If you want that to be your safe space, then that can be your safe space. But like I said, a college campus should be a battleground of ideas so people can learn and do research. Isn't that the point of going to college, learning and doing research? I mean, like I said, you know, a lot of these people that want safe spaces, they just want... I've had my dealings with those types of people. They just want to dictate the whole conversation. They don't want to have... People aren't allowed to have their own ideas, thoughts, and opinions. They just want to run over everybody with a fucking steamroller or a bulldozer, and they think they're right all the fucking time. There's a chance you could be wrong, but you won't know until you have a fucking conversation with those people. And this is extremely important to me. I'm gonna put this as most. I'm sorry. I'm putting most on a lot of these because, you know, this is something that something that I strongly believe in. I'm very passionate about what I speak about. Do you support the legalization of same-sex marriage? Of course. I fucking love gay people. What the fuck would I do without gay people? Shoot. Look at the other answers. These are all nuanced answers. I'm gonna put solid yes, and this is extremely important to me. Like I said, fucking love my gay friends. Should gay couples have the same adoption right as straight couples? Why is that even a question? Of course. Matter of fact, from what I understand, gay couples actually raise children better than straight couples. You know, when straight people have kids, most of the time, I mean, I'm not saying I shouldn't say most of the time, but a lot of the times it's mostly by accident. They forget to put on a fucking condom. You know, they have a one-night stand. one person might be ready for a child and the other person might not be. You see, when it comes to gay couples have to put in effort to have children. Because, like I said, a man can have a baby with another man, and a woman can have a baby with another woman. They literally have to, like I said, when gay people are ready to be parents, that's a decision that they both make together. They're like, you know what? I think I can be a great mom, or I think I can be a great dad. And then they get together and they adopt a child. And they're usually gay couples are usually more financially stable. They're more mentally stable. They have, they have better time, to spend with the child. I look at some of these, documentaries I see about gay couples and whatnot, and the children look extremely happy. In fact, there was this documentary I saw where these two dads, they adopted, there were all these brothers and sisters that were, stuck in an orphanage. And what the two dads decided to do is they didn't want to split the family up. So the two dads adopted all of the brothers and sisters so that they could stay together. And they provide for all of them. And the children love their dads. Like I said, I have a few family members that are gay, and, they plan on, adopting kids when they get older or when they become financially stable. And I believe that they would also make really great dads. So I'm gonna look at the other stances, just to be, yeah, stick on yes. Oh, what is up in my throat? I need some water. I don't even have any fucking water. Man, oh man. You know what? I'm going to take a little break right now. Play a little bit more music for you guys. I'm going to go get a drink of water. Alright everyone, I'm back. Still have my glass of water right here. Sorry, my throat is just extremely dry. And no, I don't have COVID. I don't. Should states be allowed to display the Confederate flag on government property? Alright, this is gonna piss a lot of people off. I don't really care about the fucking flag. Like, it's the way I see it, you know, it belongs in a fucking museum. I mean, you can't just fucking ignore history. I mean, you have to understand that the Civil War is part of, you know, American history. I mean, we have to acknowledge both the good and the bad. So, let's see. Yes, but only at historical monuments where it was originally flown. Doesn't really matter to me. Like, this is just something I'm on the fence on. Like, because I understand when people say that, you know, it's racist, but my thing is this, you know, it's a symbol. You know, symbols do sometimes change. And the way I see it, I would rather get more into, you know, the Confederate flag in a different video, because because this also relates to heavy metal in a way. So I want to speak about Dimebag Darrell. I want to speak about Leonard Skinner. So I'm going to save my commentary on this for another video, because I have a lot to say about it. Should businesses be required to have women on their board of directors? Let's look at the other stances. No, board members should be the most qualified regardless of gender. I kind of agree with that. Because here's the thing, what if a woman, you know, that you hire doesn't have the skill set needed for that job? I mean, you're basically just having her there just because she's a woman. I mean, don't you think that's kind of like, I think that's kind of like an insult to, you know, women, just to say, oh, we'll just pick any old woman, rather than, you know, have someone who's qualified for it. We only have the woman here just because, you know, we need her here. Like, I think that's kind of degrading to women, you know, don't you think? So, that is more. Should the federal government require racial sensitivity training for employees? Let's look at the other stances. Yes, and also include LGBT topics. Matter of fact, I'll go with this one, because this one has a lot. Age, sex, race, disability, sexual orientation, religion. That's really important, especially when it comes to disability, because, you know, you have people that discriminate against people that are, you know, physically disabled, people that are in wheelchairs. You have people that discriminate against people because, you know, they might have a learning disability, or they might have autism, or they might have special needs. I mean, that's something that's really important to me, because, you know, I have a lot of friends that are, you know, disabled, you know, both that have, you know, I have a lot of friends that have special needs. I have a lot of friends that, you know, are, you know, physically impaired. In fact, I have a friend of mine who, and they speak on this a lot. They're pastel goth. They're in a wheelchair. And they face all sorts of, you know, discrimination. So I'm glad that they speak out against this whenever they do. So yeah, I think there should be, you know, sensitivity training, especially like I said, when it comes to disabilities. So this is most important to me. Do you support the death penalty? Of course not. Spending life in prison is a better sentence anyway. Plus, you know, you have to understand the death penalty is extremely expensive. Everyone was like, oh, why should my tax dollars be used to, you know, to feed someone and to provide clothing and room for them? Well, you do realize that the death penalty is more expensive, mostly because of the appeals process. You have to understand that the salary of a prison guard is a lot less than the salary of a public defender. So, and people spend years on death row because, like I said, you have to have an appeals process because, you know, they do have rights. Even though they committed a terrible, horrible, disgusting crime, we can't take away their constitutional rights. This is something I'm really strongly about. That's why the death penalty is banned, you know, in many places in Europe. The only country that it's not banned in is Belarus, if I'm not mistaken. But no, and that's another thing. The drug that we were using to give these death penalty inmates was made in Europe, and then people all throughout Europe were like, you know what, we're not going to make this drug anymore because we're not going to give you something that you're going to use to kill someone for something that we're against. So they stopped making it. And that's why you have a lot of people here in the United States, you know, coming up with like this strange cocktail of all these different drugs, and then they don't work, and then sometimes it like melts their skin off. And there was another case where someone was giving a lethal injection, and it was so gruesome that they had to close the curtains. And personally, I think they should have left the curtains up. And the reason why is so people can see how exactly barbaric the death penalty truly is. It doesn't solve anything. The people don't learn their lesson. They're just like, oh, well, I'm going to die anyway. Just stick a needle in a vein, and then they pass away. They're not getting any punishment for that. The only way they're going to get punishment is if they're spending time in jail thinking about everything that they did to the people that they hurt, and have to deal with, you know, in a jail cell fighting for their virginity, if they have virginity. You know how things are in prison, especially for people who commit violent crimes like this. We all know what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer. He was put in prison, he got beat up, and eventually was killed. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't support, you know, like I said, don't support the death penalty. I don't even support extrajudicial killings, but I can only wish Jeffrey Dahmer received more time in prison for what he did. Because what he did was disgusting. He hurt a lot of innocent people. And then you have the police who kind of bungled that. Apparently one of his victims got away and notified the police. And the police just gave him back to Jeffrey Dahmer. And Jeffrey Dahmer killed him. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm not even fucking done yet. Should the government support a separation of church and state by removing references to God and money, federal buildings, national monuments? I remember this. This was, I think, a couple of years ago. The Satanic Temple was responding to, I think, it was the Ten Commandments monument. And then they responded by putting a monument of Baphomet, which triggered a lot of people. They released it in Detroit, and all these black preachers and pastors were protesting against it and whatnot. But either way, I don't think that we should, you know, I don't think we should remove it. Like, for example, if it's already on the dollar bill, and if it's already, you know, existing on a courthouse, then it should stay there, but we shouldn't have any, you know, future references to it. Let's see. Yeah. Yes, but do not waste money removing existing references. Like I said, if it's already there, then just leave it there. Should women be allowed to wear a niqab, face veil, or should women be allowed to wear a niqab or face veil to civic ceremonies? Yeah. Can't police people. Be the fashion police, tell people what to fucking wear. Should terminally ill patients be allowed to end their lives by assisted suicide? Yes. I support this decision of assisted suicide. Yeah, get them a psychological evaluation so they fully understand. Should hate speech be protected by the First Amendment? Yes. As long as it does not threaten violence. This is another thing that's going to upset a lot of people. When I see the word hate speech, and I truly mean this, hate speech is not, I don't really like the term hate speech, because that could pretty much mean anything. You know, we've all seen this many times before, and we all know someone that's done this. We've all known someone that has been banned from Facebook for 30 days for promoting hate speech. In fact, it literally just happened to Aria DiMezzo twice. Aria DiMezzo literally just got out of Facebook jail, and then shortly after she got put back into Facebook jail for another 30 days. So 60 days without Facebook for promoting hate speech. And all she did was basically, now everyone knows Aria DiMezzo is transgender. She basically came out against a transphobic person that had commented on their board. And instead of Facebook honoring, saying, hey, you know, she didn't do anything wrong, they just banned her and said, oh, yeah, it's hate speech. I've even gotten banned for Facebook because I said, I'm going to try and be polite and or find a way to get around the ban so I won't get banned again. I said the word men, M-E-N, and I used it in a sentence. And basically, Facebook said, oh, well, that's hate speech. They removed the post, and then there was another time I wrote the men, but this time I spelled the word wrong. I spelled it with an asterisk. And then there was another time I spelled it with the letter X. I got hit with a 2-day ban from Facebook for doing that. Hate speech. I mean, apparently and the reason why they do this is because Facebook uses, you know, this program. I think it's like an artificial intelligence AI program. And it detects certain words that you're typing in. And if you use one word in combination with another word, you automatically get flagged and they automatically ban your account. And it didn't just happen to me and Aria DiMezzo. It also happened to the high priest of the United Aspect of Satanism. Damian Bale basically called somebody trash. And apparently, based on Facebook's terms of service, if you refer to somebody as trash, that's considered hate speech. And it's not even just that, but, you know, Twitter is also, you know, cracking down on hate speech, cracking down on, you know, people who are posting articles that are critical of certain politicians and their families. And then YouTube is really sneaky with it. See, what YouTube does, if YouTube also uses an AI program, but instead of flagging it and reporting it, they automatically delete it. Like, there's been times, you know, I've been talking about the incident that happened with Eden the doll and, you know, Jasleen, the incident where the 3 trans women were getting beat up in Hollywood. And one of the things I mentioned was, you know, about how, you know, a lot of, you know, I hate to say this, but, you know, there's a certain demographic of people, I can't say it on camera because, you know, I'll get banned, a certain demographic of people that attack trans women. And when I wrote this in a comment, the comment disappeared like 3 seconds later. It didn't even appear in my comment history. And I'm like, so I spoke to, there's a couple channels that I posted this comment on. I spoke to the original channel, the channel owners, and I'm like, did you guys delete my comment? And they're like, no, well, I don't delete comments on my page, and I never did. YouTube is deleting those comments automatically. And the reason why I know this for a fact is because, you know, I also get hateful comments on my page. I have trolls, like, they're not real people, they're just little kids playing on the internet, and they write the N-word on my videos, or they might use, you know, all sorts of other racial epithets. Now, I don't delete my comments. I leave them up there because I want people to see what kind of idiots are coming into my videos. If they're writing racial epithets on my videos, and if they're writing a bunch of, you know, stuff that doesn't make any sense, then I'm gonna just leave it there and I'm gonna let people laugh at them and drag them all throughout the internet. YouTube will notify me that they're writing those comments and then automatically delete them. I don't delete them. If it was me, I would leave them up there. Matter of fact, the way I set up my YouTube channel, I set it up so that anybody and everybody can comment on it. I don't care if you're a Marxist. I don't care if you're a fascist. I don't care if you're an Antifa. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care what you are. You should be allowed to say what the fuck you want to fucking say. But apparently, to Silicon Valley, they feel like they have the right to dictate what you're allowed to say on the fucking internet. And that's not right. Because who's to say that the next person that comes in, let's say it's a right wing Silicon Valley tech mogul or something like that. And let's say they say, oh, you know what? I'm a Judeo-Christian. Let's ban LGBT people from our platform. And then how would you feel about that? In matter of fact, it already happened. Nintendo banned transgender flag stages from Super Smash Brothers because they claim that the transgender flag and that any other LGBT flag is, quote, too political and too divisive. And ironically, you know, right-wingers are defending that. And these are the same right-wingers that claim that, you know, that claim to be free speech warriors. I'm the only one that's a free speech warrior because I'm an absolutist and I believe that both sides should be held accountable. And both sides should be treated equally. As long as you're not directly threatening somebody, and as long as you're not, like, threatening bodily harm or putting up, you know, targets or shit like that, then you should be allowed to say whatever the fuck you want to fucking say. But, you know, most people don't understand this. Like I said, people don't understand until it directly affects them. And people want to say, oh, well, we have to protect marginalized communities. All right, look at me. I'm a black atheistic Satanist. I'm a black atheistic Satanist. There's no one more marginalized than me. Not only am I a minority, but I'm a minority inside of a minority. So if anybody would know what marginalized is, I would know. So like I said, I don't believe we should be policing free speech on the internet. It's fucking stupid. It's not even just the internet, but anywhere in society. And this is something I'm strongly passionate about. Say whatever the fuck you want. Just don't be violent. Don't threaten anybody. No death threats. No nothing like that. People won't understand this. This is why I say Facebook and a lot of these Silicon Valley tech companies are too big, and they need to be broken up. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm all worked up. I need another fucking drink because my voice is starting to crack again. Should marital rape be classified and punished as severely? Why is this even a question? This is fucking common sense. Yes. And that's the thing. This is something that I deal with a lot, especially when it comes to Nicki Minaj fans. They always want to defend. Now, for those that aren't aware, Nicki Minaj's husband, her newlywed husband, Kenneth Petty, he's a convicted sex offender. Apparently back in the 90s, he had raped a woman and held a knife to her throat. And people are defending Kenneth Petty by saying, oh, well, the girl that he supposedly raped, he was in a relationship with. But just because you're in a relationship with somebody does not mean that does not give you the right to their body. If they say no, that means no. If they don't want to have sex with you, then you should just keep it in your pants, be a man, pull your pants back up, all right? And just accept it. She's not in the fucking mood, all right? Just because you're in a relationship with somebody doesn't mean whether you're married or you're dating. It doesn't give a man the right to rape a woman, and it doesn't give a woman the right to rape a man. Everyone should just keep their hands to their fucking selves and keep their pots in their fucking pants or shirts or whatever the fuck you're wearing. It's crazy. Matter of fact, I'm going to elaborate on this. Yes, and consensual sex with a spouse under the age of 18 should be classified as statutory rape. This is something I'm extremely passionate about because Satanists are constantly blamed for this all the fucking time. Whether it be rape, whether it be, child abuse, everybody wants to blame things on Satanism. But they want to ignore all the shit that goes on within the church. But, we're Christians, we're the good guys, so we're just going to ignore this and just blame it all on Satanism. Blame it all on us? Alright. I don't even think we're halfway there yet. Should the military allow women to serve in combat roles? Yes. Okay. All right. Why is it no? Let me look at the other stances just to be sure. Yes. Preventing them from serving in combat roles is discriminatory. Hey, women are just as capable as men, all right? For those that say otherwise, screw you. Should the federal government require people to wear face masks in public? Yes. I'm pro-science. This is something that, you know, me and Aria DeMezzo, although I love Aria to death, I think she's doing, you know, a great... I think what she's doing in Keene, New Hampshire is great, and I think she would make a great sheriff. But this is one thing that she's completely off on. And this is, the, you know, the mask mandate. Now, she is against federal mask mandates. But my thing is this. Science supports federal mask mandates. She says, like, basically it's taking away someone's, like, individual liberty and whatnot. But my thing is this. I don't really think that doctors and scientists' main end goal is to try and take away anyone's individual liberty. There's a reason why these mask mandates are in place. The mask mandates are in place to stop people from spreading the disease to people who are not infected and who don't want the disease. So my thing is this: what about those people's rights? Don't those people have a right not to get infected? Everyone should be required to wear a face mask in crowded areas, in indoor areas, in stores, anywhere. They should be required to wear a face mask. Now, if you're in the privacy of your own home, or if you're on your own property, that's one thing. But if you're out in public, you should be required to wear a fucking face mask. Put the fucking mask on your fucking face. And her whole argument is like, well, I don't like how baristas and, you know, store employees are expected to enforce the law. But from the way I see it, with the rising amount of cases in this country, these mask mandates have a purpose, and I think they do serve a legitimate purpose. We need people to wear fucking face masks. All right, and this is a problem that's uniquely American. Because when I speak to, you know, my friends in other countries, whether it be Sweden, whether it be fucking the UK, whether it be France, whether it be people all the way over in fucking Japan. All right, because I have people all over from my friends list. They wear their fucking masks without complaining. The United States is the only one that are just walking around without a mask. And personally, I think a lot of these people are purposely trying to spread the virus. Because why else would they be coughing on people intentionally? And, you know, purposely getting up in your face without a mask on? They know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They're trying to spread the fucking virus. But yeah, everyone should be required to wear a face mask. This is something I'm extremely strong about. Dr. Fauci says it. All the other medical professionals are saying it. Well, I mean, how dumb are we as a nation to say, you know what, fuck science, fuck the doctors. You know, the doctors are working around the clock, busting their ass, working long shifts to protect people and treat people who have COVID-19. And we're going to spit in their face and say, fuck you. Fuck you, doctors. Fuck the medical community. I'm an American. Yeah, I can just fucking walk out of my house without a fucking mask on because I'm fucking America. America, baby. Yeah. Screw you people. Just do us all a favor. You want to get us out of this pandemic? You want everything to get back to normal? You don't want this to be the new fucking normal? Then wear the fucking mask and shut the fuck up. I'm tired of being locked in the house. I'm tired of all of my favorite businesses closing down because you people don't want to contain the fucking virus. Put the fucking mask on. Do you support the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, Obamacare? No. Obamacare fucking sucks. A mandatory single-payer system would be even better. I support single-payer healthcare. That's one of the reasons why I'm against Obamacare, because Obamacare is still privatized health insurance, and it's still fucking expensive. So, anything that, if I see the word single-payer or Medicare for all, I support it. Should the federal government increase funding of healthcare for low-income individuals? Yes. That's extremely important. Understand. Yes, but I prefer switching to a single-payer healthcare system. My thing is this. I find it weird how every other country is able to figure out how to implement a single-payer healthcare system, but the United States can't. It makes no sense to me. I'm just load all the healthcare questions. Gosh, this is going to be fucking long, and it's going to be a bitch and a half to try and edit. Do you support single-payer healthcare system? Yes. Yes, this system guarantees health care for everyone. Yes, private companies should not be able to profit off health care. Those are both really good answers. But yeah, I believe everyone should have health care. That includes Republicans. Yes, Republicans. I believe you also should have access to affordable health care, and that you shouldn't have to go bankrupt for surgery or anything else like that. Because medical bankruptcy is a big problem here in the United States. Whether or not we know it or not. Should we fund the World Health Organization? Yes. Yeah. Should people be required to work in order to receive Medicaid? Look at the other answers. I don't know, dude. Are they disabled? Maybe they are. I believe in helping the disabled. Should the government regulate? What the fuck is a regulate? Should the government regulate the prices of life-saving drugs? Yes. We all know about the whole Martin Shkreli thing. Yes, and we should socialize medicine and healthcare. Should cities open drug safe Hayden? I really cannot speak today. What the fuck? I think I'm just reading too fast. Should cities open drug safe havens where people who are addicted to illegal drugs can use them under supervision of medical professionals? Yes. Safe injection sites work. I mean, you should see Philadelphia, you know. It's been a couple times I've traveled through Philly and I've seen, you know, you got heroin addicts just passed out on the sidewalk, especially you know, in the Kensington district. The Kensington district is like it's sad driving down there. You got people, like I said, people sleeping on the sidewalk, people sleeping in tents, you know, discarded needles all over the street and everything. It's sad. I mean, there needs to be, you know, a safe injection site for these people, because you don't want anyone getting stuck with needles and all that other shit. Like I said, drug addiction should be treated like a medical problem, not a criminal problem. So, should there be more or less privatization of veterans' health care? Less. I don't, right below it. Should the federal government be allowed to negotiate drug prices for Medicare? Look at the other stats. Yes. I think so. Should health insurers be allowed to deny coverage to individuals? No. Who have a pre-existing condition? No. I have a pre-existing condition. Should the government increase funding for mental health research? And yes. especially more now than ever. I'm gonna elaborate on this. Our mental healthcare system needs more funding to provide a high quality of care and services. You support the legalization of marijuana? Of course I do. Yes, and immediately release anyone serving time solely for drug offenses. It's not fair that we got people that are in jail for, possession of marijuana or, distributing marijuana. Do you support increasing taxes for the rich in order to reduce interest rates for student loans? Yes. This is extremely important. Yes, and increase government's fundings, free college education. Should the federal government pay for tuition at four-year colleges and universities? Yes. My thing is this. I don't like how the United States set up. Oh, well, in order to get a good job, you need to go to school. But in order to go to school, you need to have money. So you go to school, you get your degree, and then you go out and go into the workforce. And now you have 6 months to pay back all the money that you borrowed while you went to school. It seems like a system that's set up for you to fail. I mean, some people are like in their 30s and 40s by the time they pay their stuff. Now, thankfully, I was able to pay off most of my student loans. I only have only a little bit left. I have to give thanks to Donald Trump for the stimulus, because that really helped a lot. The stimulus check with $1,200 that helped me pay off some of my student loan debt, and the fact that Donald Trump signed the law that froze student loan payments until December 31st of 2020. So New Year's Day, I got to start paying student loans again. But I mean, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a gaping gangrenous wound, but it's something, and it did help out not only me, but a lot of students all throughout the country. So, yeah. I personally think the federal government should do that to future students, because we have the next generations of students that are coming up. And, I don't think they should have to graduate into a world of debt. That doesn't seem fair to me. Should the federal government fund universal preschool? Yes, of course. I just put yes. Put more. Should the government decriminalize school truancy? Yes. Don't want to be like fucking Kamala Harris, just lock people up for skipping school. That's fucking stupid. Do you support Common Core national standards? Guess you can say yes, but what is going on with me? I think I'm talking too much. Do you support charter schools? Nope. Charter schools, some of them waste a lot of money. Matter of fact, I was watching a documentary on charter schools and how basically some charter schools, you have people pocketing the money, you have people, using the money to, fund their own private businesses, you have people using the money to fund drug habits, fund nightclubs and shit. It was a rather strange documentary. If I don't remember the name, I'll probably include it in later on in the video. Should the government increase environmental regulations to prevent climate change? Yes. Provide incentives for alternative energy. Should the U.S. withdraw from the Paris Climate? No, that was one of the worst mistakes we made. important. Should disposable products, plastic cup plates, and cutlery that contain less than 50% biodegradable be banned? I mean, it seems kind of like authoritative, but I think it's necessary, especially when it comes to the environment, because we only have one planet. I don't think we should fuck it up. And plus, with the way things are going, people are continuing to have children and, bringing babies into, this world, even though that this world is like extremely fucked up. I mean, we got to do something. We can't wait too long, especially when it comes to the climate. Should the government stop construction of the Yes. That's most important. We shouldn't have it acquired by eminent domain either. Should the U.S. expand offshore drilling? No. End all offshore drilling. Do you support the use of hydraulic No. No. This is one of the things that turned me off from the Biden campaign, is when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris said that they were not banned fracking. No, I'm going this one. That's a better option. More environmental questions. Load all of them. Should drilling be allowed in the Alaska Wild? No. Should researchers be allowed to use animals in testing the safety of drugs, vaccines? Yes. Whoa. No, I don't believe it should be tested in cosmetics. Yes, but not for cosmetics. We're talking about medicine, then yeah, I do believe in animal testing. But cosmetic products, no, that should only be used for humans. Should the government give tax credits and subsidies to the wind power industry? Yes. Wind is the best alternative to coal and natural gas. Should cities be allowed to offer private companies economic incentives to relocate? Let me look at the other stances. As long as the local environment is not compromised, that seems good. But stay neutral on that. Should there be more restrictions on the... Oh, this is the domestic policy. Should there be more restrictions on the current processes of purchasing a gun? No. I don't think we should, but let me look at the other answers. But I do believe in background checks and psychological testing and training. I'm going to put yes, and I'm going to just leave this as neutral. I mean, I believe everyone should have the right to own a gun, but at the same time, I think there should be strict background checks, there should be psychological testing, and there should be adequate training. You can't just give a gun to anybody and say, here, have fun. Should teachers be allowed to carry guns at school? Let's look at the other stances. I don't know. I don't really know about this one. I don't think teachers should have guns. Maybe security guards. Maybe a school resource officer. Because I remember when I was in school, we actually did have a police officer stationed at the school. My uncle, he retired now. He was the top cop in my town. He's now a retired detective. He was on the force for over 20 years, and he was well liked by everyone in the community. So I'm going to put no, hire professional trained security guards. Everybody liked him. He got along well with everybody, the teachers, the principal, the students liked him. Everyone on he hung out with everyone on the football team. He was a really likable guy. So Yeah. Should victims of gun violence be allowed to sue firearms dealers and manufacturers? Well, why, though? I mean, how are the dealers and the manufacturers responsible for what, the person does? That'll remain. I'm gonna put more domestic policy. Should the President of the United States have the power to deploy military troops in order to stop protests? No. People have the right to protest. Plus, all it would do is just incite further violence. We've seen this happen in every other, authoritarian country, whether it be China and the whole Tiananmen Square incident, whether it be in Brazil. No, the military should be kept out. No. Unless we're being invaded, there's no reason for the military to be involved. And there's no reason for the military to, enact violence on American citizens. That sounds a lot like fascism to me. Or I shouldn't say fascism, more like fucking authoritarianism. Because you have to understand, China's not fascist, they're authoritarian. Are you in favor of decriminalizing drug use? Yes. Let's look at the other stances. Yes, and retroactively reduce sentences for those that are already serving time. That's most important. Do you support the Patriot Act? No. No, and pass strict laws prohibiting government surveillance without probable cause and a warrant. Domestic policy. What else we got? Do you support affirmative action programs? No. And the reason why is because I personally believe that affirmative action should be based on income rather than race. No, and minority groups should not receive any favorable treatment. I don't like that. How about this one? Regardless, we should create more social programs to address poverty. Yeah, that's better. Because I personally think that income inequality is more of a bigger and more damning issue than racial inequality. But that's just me. I'm speaking out of my own personal experience. I'm not really speaking for everybody, especially when it comes to this. Should it be illegal to burn the American flag? No! That's a First Amendment issue. I mean, I understand some people don't like it, but at the same time, you can't just throw people in jail for burning a flag. I mean, it's a flag is nothing more than a symbol. Now, I have my own personal story, especially when it comes to, flag desecration. Now, as you guys can see behind me, I have an American flag. Now, the reason why I have that flag is because at my job, there was a wild storm that had blew through town, and the flagpole fell down, and basically one of the property managers was like, "Hey, we can't have this flag on the ground," so he folded the flag up, and he set it in the store in a storeroom in one of the maintenance blocks. So years go by, and basically there's a new manager that comes in, and she sees the flag, and she just sees it sitting there, and it's just taking up space. So she's like, "You know what? We need to throw this flag in the garbage." So she gets one of my coworkers to try and throw the flag in the garbage. He's like, "I'm not throwing the flag in the garbage." So then she tries to get another coworker to throw the flag in the garbage, and she says, "You know what? I don't want to throw it in the garbage either, but it doesn't need to be in this store." So then she asked me if I would throw it in the garbage. And I'm like, "You know what? I don't want to throw that flag in the garbage. I'm gonna just take it home and I'm gonna hang it up on my wall." And that's basically why I have the American flag on my wall. I rescued it from being thrown away because I have family members that served in the military. I have family members that are served in the police department, that served in the fire department, that are EMTs and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just can't see myself throwing away a flag or burning a flag or anything like that. But, you know, if other people want to do that, then, you know, I believe that they should have the right to do whatever they fucking want. Like I said, I'm a free speech warrior on all sides. If you want to burn the flag, then burn the flag. If you don't want to burn the flag, then don't burn the flag. We can't be like an authoritarian country saying, oh, you insulted the federal government by burning an effigy of the federal government. We're going to put you in jail. This is exactly what Hillary Clinton tried to do. Put people in jail for fucking flag burning. Hell, even Antonin Scalia, and he's like a right-wing, like, Supreme Court justice. He even said he's against the flag, against flag burning. A right-wing justice, and you know, you mostly see Antifa and, you know, other groups burning the American flag. But then you have Antonin Scalia, the right-wing conservative Christian Supreme Court justice, that says, hey, you know, nobody should be in trouble for burning an American flag. And that's one of the things I agree with Scalia on. Nobody should be in trouble for burning a fucking flag. Look, I know it means a lot of things to many different people, but at the end of the day, it's a piece of cloth. Should the Supreme Court be reformed to include more seats and term limits on judges? Yes. Amy Coney Barrett. Yeah. Yeah, there should be term limits. So wow. People are really blowing me up on Twitter. And Facebook. Let's put more seats, expand the Supreme Court. Should people on the no-fly list be banned from purchase? Why is that even a question? Of course they should. This one. If the government considers you too dangerous to board a plane, you should not be able to buy a gun. Should the government be allowed to seize private property with reasonable compensation for public or civic use? No. We have private property for a reason. Government should never be allowed to seize private property. Should social media companies ban political advertising? No. Or domestic policy. I don't even think we're close to the end yet. Well, maybe. I'm going to just scroll ahead and see how far we are. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're almost there. We're almost getting to it. Should the U.S. government grant immunity to... Why is this even a question? The only people that are against Edward Snowden are establishment politicians and deep state politicians, the Republican establishment, the Democratic establishment, because they all know they all got shit to hide, and Edward Snowden exposed all of them. Investigate the sea. All of the yes answers are good. He should be protected, and we should investigate CIA and the NSA, because they're doing a lot of dirty shit, not only here in the United States, but all throughout the fucking world. Should the military upgrade Air Force One? Not until the cost is dramatically reduced. Should internet service providers be allowed to speed up? This is a net neutrality problem. Should allowed to speed up access to popular websites that pay higher rates at the expense of slowing down access to less? No. Because this is going to get misused. Treat all internet traffic equally and continue the openness of the internet. Should local police increase surveillance and patrol of Muslim neighborhoods? No. Why? Why should they? I mean, this should be based on crime rates instead of race or religion. I mean, you can't just have police going around in Muslim neighborhoods. I mean, what kind of shit is that? Like, I mean, it seems like you're just singling out people because of their religion. And based on, you know, crime statistics, Muslims actually have a low crime rate, come to think of it. And, you look at a lot of the prison population, a lot of the inmates in there are like Christians. So like, even if it wasn't a Christian neighborhood, I would still be against it. We shouldn't be policing neighborhoods based on somebody's religion. That's fucking stupid. That's authoritarian. That should not be allowed. Should there be term limits set for members of Congress? I mean, I'm against term limits because FDR was a good president and he didn't really the only reason term limits happened is because he was such a good president and people just kept electing him over and over again. No, we already have term limits and they're called election. Should the NSA be allowed to collect basic metadata on citizens' phones, calls, such as numbers, timestamps, and call durations? No. They need a warrant for that. I don't know if we should abolish the NSA or should I'm just do the legal route and say they need a warrant signed by a judge. Should the redrawing of congressional districts be controlled by an independent, nonpartisan commission? Yeah. Don't want any gerrymandering. Oh, yep, here it is. Gerrymandering gives an unfair advantage to the party in power during redistricting. Should the government pass laws which protect whistleblowers? Of course, but I'm gonna look at the. Put yes. Yes, but only if the information. Yes, but only if releasing the information does not threaten our national security. Whether it was legally obtained or illegally obtained, I think that it should be. I think they should be protected. So I'm gonna just pick the standard yes, and this is most important. Should the government regulate social media sites as a means to prevent fake news and misinformation? No. All right, we don't want a ministry of truth because at the same time, let's say you have someone that's head of a social media website that doesn't believe in medical science. They don't believe in vaccines and anything, and so they promote the anti-vaxxer stuff, and and all the stuff that's pro-vaxxed gets like banned off of social media. Or for example, this whole Hunter Biden story. Whether or not you agree with Joe Biden or Hunter Biden and all that other stuff, people should be allowed to read the news report. You got Twitter banning it, you got Facebook banning it, and that's the thing. Like, Facebook is pretty much. I mean, Facebook used to be a bastion of free speech, and now they're just banning everybody. Same thing with Twitter. Same thing with YouTube. These big tech companies think that they can just control what you have, what you can think, what you can say, what you can fucking read. I mean, if the news is fake, then there's like a bunch of fact-checking websites out there. If they want to put an annotation under something and say, hey, wait, this is government, right? It says government. Should the government regulate social media sites? No. The government should not determine what is fake news or real news. Personally, my honest personal opinion, I think most of the news agencies are fake. MSNBC is just basically the corporate Democrat wing of propaganda. CNN is just neutralist biased. Fox News, that's like the propaganda arm of the Republican Party. And that's the thing. Like all of our news channels, they're all owned by like what? I think they said like 6 or 7 different corporations. So of course they're going to be biased. Why do you think people are, watching YouTubers? Why do you think people are watching, nonpartisan networks and, like grassroots journalists? There's a reason behind it, Should the government raise the retirement age for Social Security? No. On a disadvantaged low income scene, yeah. Economic issues. Should the U.S. raise taxes on the rich? Well, that's a no-brainer. Yes. Should the government raise the federal minimum wage? Yes. Well, matter of fact, my thing about the minimum wage is this. The minimum wage should be chained to inflation. Like, let's say you do have a $15 minimum wage. In some states, that's not enough to survive. And in other states, that's way too much. And that could fuck up the economy in that specific state. So it should be chained to inflation. I don't know if that's it. Holy shit, that's an answer. Yes, and adjusted every year according to inflation. That seems reasonable, don't you think? Should welfare recipients be tested for drugs? No. It's a waste of money. We did it. We did it several times, and I think they tested thousands of people, and they only caught like what 15. So it's a waste of money. And also the government, I'm saying government. The governor of Florida did this, and the only reason why is because he was getting kickbacks for every drug test. So he was basically using it to line his pockets and the pockets of his cronies. So it's a scheme. It's a big fat scheme. Let's see. Should the U.S. raise or lower the tax rate for corporations? Raise. Matter of fact, I'm going to just change this. Increase for large multinational corporations, but lower for small businesses. We have to support Main Street instead of Wall Street. You support a universal basic income program. Yes. Especially now with the whole pandemic. We definitely need a universal basic income. Some people are saying, oh, well, it's going to encourage some people to be lazy. But at the same, but it might encourage some people, but I seriously doubt all. And even so, that money is going to stimulate the economy. I mean, you give someone like, let's say we do Yang's idea. A modified version of Yang's idea, because he doesn't believe in the social safety net. But let's say you decide to give everybody $1,000 every month. They're going to spend that money, or they're going to save that money, or they're going to invest in something that they need it. It's not just going to sit in some offshore account somewhere. That money is going to be put to good use. Do you believe in labor unions to help They help workers. Yeah. I support labor unions all throughout. Should employers be required to pay men and women the same salary? Oh, yeah, I mean, shoot, can't discriminate. Let's see. Let me look at the other answers. Publish their salary ranges for each position. I'd say that's pretty fair. Should there be fewer or more restrictions on current welfare benefits? The other answers. Goes to those who need it most. I'm gonna say fewer. Got it more. I think I just need to read more about that. Should the government make cuts to public spending in order to reduce the national debt? Nah, reduce the military spending instead, because that's like bloated. Extremely bloated. Not my questions. Should the government increase the tax rate on profits earned from the sale of stocks, bond, and real estate? This is something I'm not exactly sure about this. There's pros and cons to both. So I'll put yes, but I'm gonna leave it as neutral. Should businesses be required to provide paid leave for full-time employees during the birth of a child? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Should the government require businesses to pay salaried employees making up $46,000 a year, time and a half for overtime? Yes, regardless of their pay cycle. Shoot, even if you're not making $46,000 a year, if you're making less than that, I still think you should be given overtime. Should the current estate tax be decreased? No, raise the estate tax. I think if that's an option. Increase it at a progressive rate. My thing is this. There's no one in this country that needs money when they're dead. Because that's basically what the estate tax is. It's basically you're taxing dead rich people. I'm pretty sure they'll have enough money to give to their families anyway. Should the government use economic stimulus to aid the country during times of recession? Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep it up there. Should the U.S. continue to participate in the North American? No. The NAFTA kills a lot of jobs. I'm not the only one that noticed this. Bernie was against this. The Green Party was against this. Hell, even Donald Trump was against this. Let's see. Show more economic questions. Should the pension plans for federal, state, and local government workers be transitioned into privately managed accounts? Whew. Let's see. I'm going to put no and leave it as neutral. Should the U.S. citizens be allowed to save or invest their money in offshore bank accounts? Nope. Too many wealthy citizens are abusing loopholes and offshore banking laws to evade taxes. Should the government break up Amazon, Facebook, and Google? Absolutely. People who run Mark Zuckerberg and fucking Jeff Bezos are a bunch of fucking scumbags. I know that's kind of childish, but at the same time, it's just, you know, Jeff Bezos didn't really pay anything in taxes, and Mark Zuckerberg, like I said, he's abusing his power, so they should both all be broken up. Yeah. Let's see more. Do you support Trans-Pacific Partnership? Nope. Should the president offer tax breaks to individual companies to keep jobs in the United States? Yes. Indirectly increase taxes and import tariffs. Should the United States increase tariffs on imported goods from China? Should we or should we not? Should we or should we not? I'll put no. I'll just leave it as neutral. Should I show? Yeah. Because I want to get an accurate result. Should I load all of them? How many economic questions are there? Bloody hell, there's a lot of them. Alright, I just clicked all of them. Gonna go ball. Matter of fact, We're going to take another break here. I'm going to play some more music for you guys, and we'll be back. we're back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Time to get back to finishing this bloody thing. It's taken me quite a while. Now I understand. I mean, at the beginning of the election, I was like, you know what? Everybody should have to take the ISideWith test to see where they align. But I kind of now understand why people aren't doing that, because this test is long as fucking hell. How long have I been sitting here? I won't know until I finish editing, because I haven't really been keeping track of time. So, let's keep on going, shall we? We're going to finish this all together. Should pension payments be increased for retired government workers? Yes, but only for low-income pensioners. I'd say it should be good. Should the government add or increase tariffs on products imported into the country? I'll put yes. Should the government subsidize farmers? But yeah, for small local farms, but not for large corporations. Got it there. Should an in-state sales tax apply to online purchases of in-state buyers from out-of-state sellers? No. Yeah, the federal government doesn't have the authority to impose state and local taxes. That's something I'm strong with. I mean, that's something I agree with Aria de Mezzo about, especially on that. Would you favor an increased sales tax in order to reduce property taxes? I'm gonna put no. Yeah, I'm definitely putting no on that one. Should the government require equity stakes in companies it bails out during a recession? Government should never own sales of any profit companies. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this one. Because that sounds kind of authoritative. And then again, do private companies even know what the fuck they're doing anyway? Then again, the government, we don't know. I'm gonna just leave that as no and then keep it as neutral. I'm gonna put it as less. I think this is the first less I've done. Should the government prevent mega mergers of corporations that would potentially control a large percentage of the market within its industry? Yes. Government should break up existing mega corporations. Should the IRS create a free electronic tax filing system? Yes. Shit. I don't know, because... Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to put yes, because, like, I don't even know how to file my own taxes. I literally have to... I have to get my accountant to do that for me. And this year it was kind of hard to do that because of the whole coronavirus pandemic. So what I had to do was I had to go to H&R, and they had to help me file that, and... cost me a little bit to... Oh, what did I button? What did I hit? Oh, I keep hitting all these buttons. Yeah. Should the Federal Reserve... Yes. This is exactly one of the reasons why I supported Sanders. We need to audit the Federal Reserve. We need to know who the bank gives money to. Suddenly, you know, this kind of makes me think of Escape from New York when, you know, Snake Plissken robbed the Federal Reserve. That was funny. Wish that could happen in real life, you know? That money could be used by a lot of people. Should the government classify Bitcoin as a legal currency? So this is another conversation I had with Aria de Mezzo about. Damn, like, how should... Because I don't think that you should tax, because you can't tax Bitcoin, and I don't think you should tax Bitcoin. No, that's not it. I'll put this as neutral because, like I said, I need to do more research on Bitcoin. I said the few moments I spent with Aria talking about Bitcoin, I mean, I learned quite a bit from it, and so I think I just need to learn more about it. So I'll just put it right there. I mean, businesses should be allowed to, pay with Bitcoin if they want to use Bitcoin. Zip code 08611. I don't know what 08611 is. That's not my zip code, is it? It doesn't matter. The 2020 New Jersey District 4 House of Representative election were held today. Which candidate would you vote for? Okay, now this, Veronica Hoffman. I'm gonna go green. If the 2020 presidential election were held today, which potential candidate would you vote for? Let's see. On the bottom, you got Donald Trump. And on the other side, you got Joe Biden. Then you have Joe Jorgensen. You have Hallie Hawkins. I didn't know Nikki Haley was running for president. What the hell is she doing here? Dan Cren. That's the guy that looks like fucking Snake Plissken with the eye patch over his eye. Yeah, that's Snake Plissken running for president right there. Then you got Howie Hawkins, Brian Carroll. I'd probably say Howie Hawkins. I would love to see him become president. I mean, speaking in a hypothetical situation, if we had fair elections where third-party candidates would be allowed to participate in the debates and they were allowed to, show ads on TV. And if everything was fair and open and honest, I would say Howie Hawkins. Unfortunately, we're not in that situation. But if we were, I would say Howie Hawkins. Don't agree with him on everything, but I agree with him on most things. Show more questions. Whom would you most likely run for president in 2024? Let's look at the list. Tulsi Gabbard, Ted Cruz, Pete Buttigieg, fuck no. Oprah Winfrey, fuck Oprah. Nikki Haley, nope. Mitt Romney, nope. Mike Pence, fuck off Mike Pence. Michelle Obama, fuck off. Mark Cuban, nope. Kanye, nope, that seems like a joke. Kamala, fuck off. Joe Jorgensen, I would like to see her run. Ivanka, nope. Elon Musk, nope. Elizabeth Warren, she's a snake. Dwayne Johnson, he's a fucking celebrity. Dan Crenshaw, that's the Snake Plissken guy. Condoleezza Rice, nope, because she got us involved with all the Iraq War. Candace Owens, she's a grifter. Bernie Sanders, yeah, I like Bernie Sanders. I don't think he's going to run in 2024, but I would love to see him run. Ben Shapiro, nope. Let me tell you something. He doesn't know anything about women. Ben Carson, like I said, he's a good doctor, but I don't really think he would make a great president. Andrew Yang, I would love to see him run. Ocasio-Cortez, she's kind of young and she's made a few mistakes. I mean, she has potential, but I'm going to choose another stance. Oh, look at all those names. Bloody hell, look at all those names. Howie Hawkins, James Mattis, Gary Johnson. He was a good choice. Donald Trump again. Nah. Because in 2024, you can't have Donald Trump run for 12 years. Trey Gowdy, he's reasonable. Colin Powell, nope. Beto, bet on my stork. Bet on my stork. Scott Walker, Sarah Palin, please. Andrew Cuomo, please, come on. That's a fucking joke. Amy Cloud Boot Jar, fuck you. Ron Paul was actually pretty good. But although I'm kind of worried about Ron Paul because just recently he had a stroke. Now, thankfully, he was live streaming at the time, and they were able to, call first responders, and they were able to, rescue him. I think that would be interesting, seeing Ron Paul run again. Although, like I said, I'd be worried about his health. I don't want anything bad to happen to Dr. Paul. Because, he literally started a revolution, like a political revolution. He's one of the main reasons why so many people, especially my friends list, have gotten involved into politics after he ran in 2012. So, matter of fact, he's something that a lot of, both libertarians and, people that are fed up with the establishment have a lot of respect for. So, see, Paul Ryan, nope. Mike Huckabee, nope. He's a good bass player, though, I'll give you that. Mike Huckabee knows how to play bass. I'm gonna just add my own stance. Nina Turner. There we go. Nina Turner. I mean, I like all these other names, but I think Nina Turner basically represents the working class. She represents, people that, that I guess you could say technically don't have a voice. And she knows, she's articulate, she knows how to speak, she knows how to, she channels, she has basically Bernie's energy, but she fights like a fucking bulldog. And that's one of the main reasons why I love Nina Turner so much. She definitely deserves to be president. And honestly, she deserves to be our first woman of color president. Like, I know that that's kind of like identity politics, and to be honest, me personally, I don't really care what color you are. I don't care if you're black, white, purple, polka dot. It doesn't really matter to me what color you are. What matters is policy. And Nina Turner has shown time in and time out that she gets it. She understands what Americans are struggling with. She understands the rights. She understands what the working class is dealing with. She understands, the plight of workers. She understands the plight of poor people. And she's able to channel all that energy and, be a voice for us. So, I'm surprised Nina Turner isn't on this list, but I'm going to put her on this list, and hopefully ISideWith will add her on the list as well. Which qualities are most important to you in a candidate? Transparency. Yes. Consistency. Honesty. Intelligence. Effectiveness. Electability, that doesn't really mean much. I mean, diplomacy, that. These are all something we need, especially common sense. Like, seems like some people don't have common sense, and some people's common sense is like, it just doesn't really make much. Let me not get there. Commitment, integrity. Well, morals are subjective, but I'm gonna put that there. These are all important. Electability, that could mean anyone. People said that Bernie wasn't electable, but he was. It's just that Bernie chose, Bernie ran his campaign to the ground. He should have tried a lot harder to defeat Joe Biden, but he didn't. In fact, everyone on his campaign was like, you got to attack him, you got to go after him. Bernie's like, no, he's my friend. I'm not going to do that to my friend. Well, your friend is a corporate Democrat, and your friend has thrown you under the bus multiple. Let me tell you something. I don't throw my friends under the bus. Joe Biden isn't his friend. So, I don't know, maybe Joe Biden threatened him or something like that, or maybe the Democratic establishment threatened him. Who fucking knows? I'm getting conspiratorial at this point. So, drum roll. I'm going to show you guys my results. Let's see what it is. All right, do the drum roll. And while it loads, I'm going to play some music for you guys and get back to you. Alright, and the results are here. I'm 94% green. Oh. I'll share it later. So many fucking pop-ups. Okay, so these are the political parties. I'm 94% green, 93% socialist, 93% peace and freedom. I've never heard of this party before. 93% peace and freedom. I've never heard of this political party before, the Peace and Freedom Party. This is a first. Come to think of it, there's a lot of these parties I've never heard of. Why am I getting so many fucking pop-ups? Get out of here. Get out of here. I've never heard of any of these policies before. Democratic Transhumanist, American Solidarity. I've heard of Libertarian. I've heard of Constitutional, and I've heard of Republican. That's funny. I'm like 16% Republican. I wonder what I agree with the Republicans on. What the fuck? I never thought I'd be 16% Republican. But yeah, I'm 94% green. This is amazing. Parties. Peace and free. I'm gonna have to look into peace. This is why we need to end the two-party system, because we have so many political parties around here. And this is another reason why we should have ranked choice voting, because we need to give people better options than just Republican and Democrat. Because these are my choices: Democrat and fucking Republican. And look at all these political parties. When it comes to the Democratic Party, I only agree with them 89% of the time. 89%. There's three other parties that I have closer relation to, than the most being Green, and the two runner-ups being the Socialist Party and the Peace and Freedom Party. But you won't ever see these, and some of these aren't even in the ballot in all 50 states. This just goes to show you that our entire political system needs to be redone. Because I had no idea this party even existed. I had no idea transhumanists existed. I had no idea American Solidarity existed, or Well, that I did hear, but you don't hear about it a lot. This is just mind blowing right here. Peace and freedom, socialist, Greens. But people telling me I should settle for Democrat, when there's three other parties I could choose from that are more closer to, my principles. And this is why I keep telling people, research your candidate. What is this? I'm just amazed by this. Secular versus religion. I side moderately towards secularism, meaning you support policies that reflect separation of church and state. I'm more progressive and less traditional. Tender versus tough. Authoritarian versus libertarian. You side slightly towards authoritarian, meaning you more often believe it is the government's role to provide stability, equality, and opportunity for citizens. This theme is most important to you. I'm surprised I'm authoritarian. I didn't think I would be considered authoritarian. Let's look at all this. Big government versus small government. Yeah, I'm on the big government side. Corruption. Well, yeah. Inequality and corruption are important. Democracy versus meritocracy. I'm on the democracy side. Green party. Wait, no. The star is where I'm at. Yeah, the star is me. So I think it is it? Oh, yeah, the star is me. So I'm a moderate there, progressive, tender, authoritarian. Well, no, I'm still I'm still in neutral space. So I don't want to cross that line over there. Left wing versus right wing. I'm on the extreme left. So all the people that were calling me like a fucking, calling me right winger and all that other stuff, and look at that. I'm not even on the fucking right wing. Multicultural, yeah, I'm on multiculturalism. Although I do kind of understand assimilation to an extent. Yeah. Keynesian versus laissez-faire. Politically correct versus politically incorrect. Which I find kind of odd, though, but because, I'm like about as politically correct as, as Harley Brown would say it, I'm about as politically correct as your proverbial turd in a punch bowl. Like, meaning you believe we should not use language or behavior which could offend. Well, I don't really care who gets offended, so this is what's really surprising, is that I'm here when I say a lot of offensive shit. So, I don't know, maybe the test is broken, maybe I chose the wrong answers, maybe I felt too strongly on certain issues. I think it was pretty because of the whole LGBT issues. I feel I'm really strongly and really passionate about LGBT rights, so that's probably why they put me on the politically correct spectrum. Because if you listen to like a lot of my shows and podcasts, episodes of Satanic Panic, I use a lot of offensive fucking words. So, I curse all the fucking time. I say things that, other people mostly wouldn't say. So, isolation versus imperialism. I'm an isolationist. I'm against imperialism. I'm at the Democratic Party's all the way over there. And the GOP, please. Democratic socialism versus capitalism. I'm a democratic socialist. That's weird because, I've always considered myself, because, you have to understand, Sweden and Denmark, those are all capitalist countries, and I agree with their economic systems, but I don't know. Maybe the definitions are wrong. Maybe my definition of what I think it is wrong. Privacy versus security. Privacy. Let's put privacy. Is that something? GOP supports security. Collectivism versus individualism. Collectivist. Passivism versus militarism. Alright, I'm a pacifist. Democracy versus meritocracy. Democracy. We have to understand meritocracy is a fucking myth, but I'll get more into that later. Big versus small. I'm big government. Multilateralism versus unilateralism. I guess you could say neutral, but I'm leaning more towards multilateralism. Environmentalism, of course. Regulation, of course. Generalization versus decentralization. I'm a moderate there. Globalism versus nationalism. Guess you could say I'm neutral. Neutral, leaning moderate. Protectionalism versus globalization. I'm more of a protectionist, I guess you could say. So, it's the political chart. So you have, this is a weird political chart. Usually libertarians on the bottom and authoritarians on the top. So I would be right, left. It's right on the left. Right, left. Why did I say right, left? What that shit? So I'm rather, left leaning. Polling. Let's see where polling is going. Alright, so Republican Party fluctuating up and down. Support for my political beliefs. Yep, right there, smack dab in New Jersey. Yep, that's exactly where I'm in. Princeton, New Jersey. Yep. So there you have it. Those are my results. Let's see what else I got. My parties. I'm not sure if I can show the candidates. Ballot. I agree with Howie Hawkins on 94% of everything. 81 with Brian Carell, 79 with Joe Biden, 55 with Joe Jorgensen. Show more. 19% with Donald J. Trump. 91% with Fernandez. 90% with Booker. 88 on Hoffman. So I should have went with Hernandez because she's closer to. This is why this website is so fucking useful, because I chose the wrong candidate. I chose Hoffman because she was green, and this is the problem that Arias mentioned, voting based on party lines instead of voting based on policy, and I fucked up on this one. I should have chose Veronica Fernandez instead of Madeline Hoffman. I mean, I was just reading. I mean, to be fair, I was just briefly glossing over their records, but. This just goes to show you why you need to research your candidates. Can't stress that enough. All right, so that's where I'm at. Howie Hawkins and the Green Party. Those are where my political beliefs, are. That's where that's where I am politically. I'm a Green. Although, sometimes I have doubts. Sometimes, I might agree with a certain candidate on a certain issue, but you're not going to agree with every candidate 100% of the time. With Howie Hawkins, I only agree with him 94%, and there's 6% of issues that I disagree with him on. So, all right, there you have it, Howie Hawkins. Just click on Howie Hawkins. Just a brief summarize of what he agrees with and what I agree with. This is interesting. Very interesting. If you guys want to take this test for yourself, I would recommend it, especially because the election is only a few days away. I mean, less than a week. So, yeah, I'm just speed reading at this point. Yep. Alright, you guys, I'm ending it here. Hope you guys found this somewhat fun and I hope you guys learned a few more things about me and on where I stand on certain issues. You guys want to take this test for yourself? Like I said, I recommend it. But I hope that clears up anything that you guys might have thought about. Alright, I'm calling it a day. I'm about to go get me something to eat. You guys stay safe, stay metal, hail Satan, and have a good one.